In 1947, a raft with 6 men vanished into open ocean, on purpose. They had no engine, no radio, no modern map. They were proving something humans did 3,000 years earlier. Somehow our ancestors crossed entire oceans with nothing. No compass existed, no satellites, not even a written map. So how did they know where they were going? If you were dropped in the ocean today, you'd be dead in hours. They did it on purpose, thousands of times, and survived. This is the story of how humans conquered the entire planet on foot and by boat. And it starts with one simple, brutal problem. 200,000 years ago, every human on Earth lived in one place. Africa. That's it. That was the whole species. Imagine you're one of them. The entire world is a rumor. You've never seen a mountain range you didn't grow up next to. Then the climate turned against you. Droughts came. Food vanished. Staying meant dying. So people did the only thing that made sense. They walked. Not to explore. To survive. What if the next valley had food and yours didn't? That single bet is why you exist right now. Eventually walking wasn't enough. The land ran out. In front of them, open water, no end in sight. Behind them, the land that was slowly killing them. You would have had to choose, right now, no hesitation. Most people would have turned back. These people didn't. And what they found changes everything you think you know about migration. Around 100,000 years ago, sea levels were different than today. Ice locked up so much water that new land bridges appeared. Places that are ocean today were walkable ground back then. This is how early humans reached Southeast Asia on foot. No boats needed yet, just timing and the will to keep moving. But some crossings had no land bridge at all. So how did they cross those? They read the ocean itself. Waves carry information, direction, distance, even land nearby. A trained eye could read the ocean like a language, and birds gave away secrets no map ever could. Certain birds fly out to sea by day and home to land by night. Follow them home and you'd find land you couldn't even see yet. This wasn't luck, this was a science memorized by heart. Because there was no writing yet, everything lived in memory. Navigators memorized over 100 stars, not roughly, exactly. Each star rises and sets at the exact same point every night. String enough of them together and you have a compass in the sky. What if your GPS was just memory and the sky? One mistake and you'd never be seen again. There was no rescue call, no signal, just the ocean. And still they went. Voyage after voyage after voyage. Why would anyone risk that? The answer is almost too human. Some were escaping war, some were escaping starvation, and some just wanted to know what was out there. That curiosity is the same one you have right now. It's the reason you're still watching this. Around 3,000 years ago, one group took this further than anyone. They built double-hulled canoes built to survive weeks at sea. Inside, food, water, plants, animals, an entire future civilization. This wasn't a lifeboat, this was a floating colony. They sailed into open ocean toward islands they'd never seen, not knowing if land existed at all. Imagine committing weeks of your life to a guess. No turning back, no backup plan, just forward. They used a method called sailing down the latitude. Find the correct star height, then just follow that line. It sounds simple, it was anything but. One wrong angle and you'd miss an island by hundreds of miles. There was no room for a small mistake. So what happened when they got it right? For days there was nothing, just water in every direction. Then a shape. A smudge on the horizon that wasn't a wave. Land, after weeks of nothing but ocean and stars. Try to imagine that relief, that disbelief. They didn't just find an island, they found a new world. And they'd do it again, and again, across thousands of miles. This is how humans reached nearly every island on Earth, long before anyone had a name for the Pacific Ocean. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, A different crossing was happening. Ice Age humans followed herds across a frozen land bridge. This land connected two continents that are oceans apart today. They weren't looking for adventure, they were following food. And that hunt led an entire species onto a new continent. Within a few thousand years, humans reached the very tip of South America. From one small population in Africa to the entire globe. No planes, no ships with engines, no satellites. Just legs, canoes, memory, and an unreasonable amount of courage. What do you think would have happened if they'd stayed home? You wouldn't exist, not where you are right now. Every migration risked everything for a future they'd never see. That's the part people forget when they hear ancient migration. It wasn't a school lesson, it was a gamble with your entire life. And they made that gamble over and over for thousands of years. So the next time you open a map app, remember this. Someone did this first with no map at all. They read stars you've never looked for. They trusted waves you'd never notice. They followed birds you'd never think twice about. And they crossed oceans that still terrify us today. This is how a single species reached every corner of Earth. Not with technology, with attention, memory, and nerve. If they could cross oceans with nothing, what's your excuse? If this blew your mind, subscribe, like, and drop a comment below.